Welcome to the Sales Nerds, the people who are trying to save the galaxy one sale at a time by being the superheroes of the sales community, or at least their sidekicks.
All right, welcome. My name is Sundance Brennan. I'm the Chief Sales Nerd, and this is episode number 2 of 101 sales closing techniques, right? So this is very, very basic. I'm going to take you through this as if you are a sales preemie, a sales like little, oh, look, he's so cute, he's in sales, right? And then all the way up to some more advanced techniques, but you need a solid foundation to start with. So I've got 10 very basic techniques. I'm going to take you through these over the next couple of weeks. And for those of you who have been in sales though for a long time, I'm not going to forget about you. So I'm going to give you 3 tips on how to improve the slot close. In this case, that's what we're talking about today. So for those of you that aren't familiar with the term, the slot close is a very basic this or that close. To give you a quick example, would you rather have my book in Kindle or would you like to have the physical copy? So that is the slot close. It's a basic, hey, either one of these options is okay with me. Yes, no. There's no maybe in there. So it's just a this or that type of a close. Now, that's really, really simple. There's not much to it. The tricky part is actually doing it and forcing yourself to say, hey, do you want to buy the product or not buy the product? Do you want to take the truck or do you want to take the car? Do you want to take the term or the whole or whatever it is, whatever product is that you offer? Now, the slot closing, you probably think, hey, it's just good enough to use 2 different options and ask for it, right? That seems like it would make sense. But when you've been in sales for quite a while, you realize that there's a game of inches here, and every little inch counts. So here's 3 tips to kind of help you take it to the next level. So tip number 1, the second item in your slot close is more likely to be chosen. And here's why. It's very, very basic. It's because it's the last thing your customer heard, right? Customers sometimes, they're not quick on their feet. They're just more likely to repeat the last thing that they heard. So whenever you're asking questions, make sure that the option you prefer, the one you recommend, the one that's better for you, the one that sells the product, right? And hopefully it's better for the customer too, right? Don't forget about the customer. Whatever that is, make sure it's the second option. The first option, hey, so we have the basic package here, or we have the souped up, extra deluxe, all the bells and whistles package, and that's the one you want them to choose. So have that one be second. So change your verbiage to associate the second option with the one they want to choose. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2, a lot of folks save the slot closes until the end of the conversation, or they make slot closes during the rest of the conversation as they're qualifying their customers, but they don't really think about it. They didn't have a plan for it. They just do it naturally. So a lot of folks, they try and narrow down the options for the customer. Do you want gold, or do you want silver, or do you want platinum, do you want 4-wheel drive, do you want all-wheel drive, do you want a passenger car or pickup truck, do you want term, do you want whole, do you want color, do you want black and white? All of these options are slot closes, and they help you help the client. They help define whatever the option is that is going to help you present whatever it is they want, right? So you've got a lot of products in most cases, and you need some help defining that and narrowing down the options. So the slot close is used in that purpose. So remember, whatever one you think they're more likely to choose, list that one second. And as you go through this progression, realize that every time they're engaged, every time they answer a question for you, such as, hey, this is a very basic video, so I'm just taking a very basic shot, and I'm in my office. Do you like the posters in the background, or would you rather have me behind the green screen or in the office? Right? I have 3 different kinds of videos I do, so this is just the quickest and the easiest for me. But maybe you like the other option. Maybe you prefer the green screen with the crazy backgrounds. I don't know. But here's the thing. As you're thinking about that, you're making a choice. You're deciding, hey, you know what? I prefer you in the office with the conference room desk behind you. That's fine. I got to clean up the conference room and make it look good. But maybe you have a reason there. And whatever it is, you're thinking in your head, you're coming up with reasons to justify that choice. So the questions create engagement. The engagement creates choice. Choice creates ownership. And when you have ownership of a decision like that, you create justifications. And we sell on emotion, justify with logic. And so the logical explanation is we want them to come up with those justifications. So Maybe you think it looks more professional behind the office. Maybe you like the crazy green screens because I'm a crazy guy and you want me to keep it engaged. Whatever it is, you've come up with those reasons, and your customers come up with reasons whenever you ask questions to justify their choices. So ask questions during the qualification process, and then follow that up with another slot close that's yes or no, and then repeat their goals back to them. That was a long tip number 2, right? But here's the best one. All right, so tip number 3. When you get to the last close, like this is it, you're asking for the business, throw in a couple of things here. So number 1, the first option over here, option number 1, this is the basic package. This is no bells and whistles, or maybe it's a couple of bells and whistles, but it's the lesser of the 2 options. Now it's still good, right? It's still, if they choose this, they choose you still. But you got something else over here, and this has all the doohickeys and thingamabobs and whatchamacallits and whistles and all that stuff, right? It's extra super deluxe. So when you ask the question, would you rather have package A, or I think you'd prefer package B, right? Ask that question and throw in the prefer and possibly even a right. Reason being is just adding in that verbiage that says I think you would prefer, or even if you don't want to be that assumptive, just say, or would you prefer? That would you prefer this option is what they hear. So do you want option B, option A, or would you prefer this option? And you even if you're face to face, push it forward a little bit, or point to it and nod your head. If you're in live, face to face context, in food and beverage world, this is called the Sullivan nod. Or would you prefer option B? Right? Your tone changes, nod yes, and offer it to them, and use the word prefer. So, a couple of tips. Super duper simple. It's just a slot close, A or B. Either option, you're coming with me, so it doesn't really matter, right? You want a Kindle or do you want the physical copy? It's all right. The copy, or the option you want to give them second, is the one you want them to choose. Use slot closes throughout the process to gain more ownership so that they'll justify their decision, and use the preferred language and nod your head. All right, so my name's Sundance. These are the Sales Nerds, and I appreciate your business. We got 98 more of these to go.